Okay.
So we received this letter, was sent to our business, and it looks sketchy as fuck.
American history is no stranger to anonymous letters. The Zodiacs were cryptic, Circlevilles were political, and the Watchers were ominous. In each of these three cases, the trail went cold. I've always thought this was strange. They captured the public's attention.
The disturbing letters
dominated headlines.
Someone named the Watcher.
Entire news cycles were dedicated. And then
they never found enough to charge a suspect.
Nothing. So how seriously should we take a cryptic letter? Since 2008, a mysterious man using the pseudonym Matthew Thornton has sent strange and cryptic letters to people and businesses. Tens of thousands have appeared across 27 states. Debating if the author is super intelligent or conspiracy theorist, this small subreddit says the letters have a deeper meaning, that they have hidden messages in symbolism and metaphors. The Thornton letters have always been cryptic and ideological, but in the past year, the tone changed. Wow, dude, I got him right here. What is this?
You tell me, what is it? Why did I get that?
This is Ellie, and after receiving some letters, she came to us with questions.
So I run a bar downtown. First thing that I see when I open it was the little square that said last bar in America. And that freaked me out because I was like, oh my God, I am a bar. You know what I mean? Like that person has my address and knows where I am 50% of my week.
It doesn't have a return address. It just says
120 degrees west Tahoe, 39th parallel
39th north.
I'll cut to the chase. I don't know. Since late last year, we've been looking for him.
Seemingly random people and businesses all across the country have been receiving mysterious letters.
What?
Looking in your eyes now I can see all you do is pull me down.
It's probably just his ghostwriter name.
Or it could be a group.
I don't get it. I don't know.
Maybe this is some kind of weird treasure hunt.
People don't know. People have no idea.
I told you many times I'm tired. Love is long gone undesired. I'm trapped alone in my empty sky.
Okay, here are the big questions. Where are the letters coming from? Who are the letters coming from? Are the recipients safe? And what do the letters mean? I spoke to a father who had received these letters. Out of fear, he would only talk to me anonymously, and I don't blame him.
I had like overwhelming anxiety because I was like, what the hell is this?
It's one thing to see these through a screen, but once they show up at your house, they're horrifying. He spread his letters out across a table and showed me them, and highlighted one specifically. It said, "You can't see me."
I'd be afraid to open it.
Most people open them with like plastic gloves.
After this, he changed his locks. He said all he could think about were his daughters, wondering if whoever sent this knew about them too.
I immediately had a weird feeling about it. This is weird. Is somebody stalking us?
Everything is cryptic, seems like a puzzle, almost like the Zodiac.
That's weird. That's weird. I was super weirded out.
What's your speculation as to why this guy's doing this?
I don't know. Some of it's biblical and some of it's anti-war, but then you've got the page that has the little bomb saying Omaha Beach at 40 degrees or something. I don't know. It's so there's so many different elements to it. I don't get it. I don't know.
From what I've seen in these letters, two distinct voices speak through the same pen. Over here you have the protester, expressing, in a Kaczynskian way, discontent with capitalism, reliance on plastic, and demands for reduced fossil fuel dependence. It's a manifesto. Over here, the same mind that writes about our broken world has fashioned its own religion, pitching salvation offered from the night sky, warnings of the apocalypse, and invitations to heaven. We are looking at a scattered paper gospel covered in mentions of the stars, deep space, galaxies, almost as if it's proof that all other religions are wrong and this one is right. Who is this guy?
The Zodiac Killer seems to crave publicity. He sent letters and cryptograms to newspapers and the police.
I've learned from these famous cases that there's usually a superiority complex.
I think the Zodiac, fairly intelligent and wanted some attention.
Anonymous authors hide hidden clues, not because they don't want to be found.
I think he believed he was smarter than law enforcement.
It's that they don't think anyone is smart enough.
I'm smarter than you, I'm better than you, and I'm going to show you. And no one could find him.
Thornton's letters are covered in coordinates, illustrated maps. He taunts us, telling us to try any town in America. It's a game.
He liked the game.
So let's play it.
We both received a letter that was from
Matthew Thornton.
Yeah, Matthew Thornton, okay?
I don't think that's his real name.
It's believed that Matthew Thornton is a pseudonym. Signed the Declaration of Independence. Bro, don't do this. Start a YouTube channel, they said. The author nods to this in many letters, mistaking the Constitution for the Declaration of Independence, either on purpose or on accident, saying, "We the people." Matthew Thornton was the last to sign in 1776. He was number 56 and a doctor, just like my dad. Adding on to the Nicolas Cage of it all.
It doesn't have a return address. It just says
120 degrees west, Tahoe. 39th parallel
39 north.
Which leads here. Deep in Lake Tahoe, on the border of California and Nevada. And on it, the word Pomo. Pomo, California. The Pomo are a Native American people that live around Sonoma, over here. Every envelope I've seen has been processed in Sacramento, which according to USPS, covers these zip codes. Our guy is somewhere in here.
What?
I've spent a lot of time looking at Matthew Thornton's handwriting. Online, people joke about it. It's strange, erratic. It's the kind of thing that makes you wonder how he's doing. But this isn't his actual handwriting. Thornton goes back and writes over his old letters. Why, you might ask? I don't know. This bothered me for weeks. Until I found this. What Thornton does is called overwriting. Overwriting and correcting of naturally written letters is strong evidence of the writer's intent to deceive.
Whoa! Holy shit. Okay, now, I mean, see it? Do you see it?
Matthew Thornton 555 on YouTube? Not buried in some obscure reference, not hidden in astronomical coordinates, just there on an old letter, one of his first from 12 years ago.
All right, you ready for this?
Uh-oh, yeah.
Look at this. This flat area here was a mainstay. This was someone's estate. This would have supported easily 20 or 30 people here.
So he's talking about gold being under the ground?
Gold seems to also be a central theme in a lot of his letters.
For sure.
I recognized Ellie's expression. I was feeling it too. It's hard to explain, but the imagine just collapsed into reality. The voice was distinctly human.
That area here was a mainstay. This was someone's estate.
Neither as frightening or as harmless as I was prepared for.
That's your guy.
All right, anonymous author, probably starting a religion, getting more threatening by the day, scaring recipients, coming from the land of the Zodiac, disguising handwriting. What do I do? 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 I need to know what letters Matthew Thornton has sent. I don't think I have a complete list. People have been uploading these letters to Reddit for years. So, gallery TL, reddit.com, Matthew Thornton. Hopefully this works. Now the real work begins. On September 11th of 2020, the Reddit account Minimum Teaching 5816 was created. 8 minutes and 26 seconds after, they joined the subreddit and commented on a now deleted post. I am Matthew Thornton. There is only one of me, like a voice in the wilderness. Look closely at the drawings because they convey truth. Something is coming for all of us. Just believe in me. There is only one of me. Oh, dude. There's a few accounts that claim to be Thornton, so we can't be sure that this is actually him. However, we do know what he sounds like.
Hey.
Hey, is this Matthew?
Yes, sir.
It's him. Before we go on, I want to take a second and tell you a little bit about today's sponsor, Delete Me. There's an industry out there that I like to call big data. You've probably heard of it. There's these corporations that find whatever information they can on you. Stuff like your name, your phone number, your home address, your email address, your family members. They take all of this, they package it together, and then they sell it. I don't like that. If you want your data removed, you can go to their website, you could dig around for their opt-out page, and they'll remove your info. But you have to do that for every data broker individually. So I use a tool called Delete Me. You go on, you tell them a little bit about yourself, they take the data you've given them and they protect it under an SOC2 Type 2 certification. And then they go to hundreds of these data broker websites and request to get your data removed on your behalf. Just in my first month, Delete Me searched 3,500 listings for my information. They found it on 55 different websites, and then they got it removed. The best part is that this isn't a one-time thing. They routinely go back and check to see if anything new pops up, and then they get that removed too. If you're looking to protect yourself online, Delete Me is a great place to start. Because Delete Me has sponsored this portion of today's video, they're giving a 20% discount to anyone that uses the link in the description. Join deleteme.com/CHUPPL20 and use code CHUPPL20 at checkout. Once you do that and sign up, you'll get assigned a privacy expert, and you'll get your first report back in 7 days. Thanks so much to Delete Me for sponsoring this portion of the video. Back to it. Every Tuesday for the past few weeks, Thornton and I have been talking.
You have the permission to record this.
Every time he beats me to it, he tells me to record our calls before I can ask.
Share it with other people. It's really happening. There is one of me.
He wants witnesses. If you could ask this guy any questions, what do you want to ask him?
Why? Super simple. Start off with why.
The one question only he can answer.
And I don't smell too bad.
Those Tuesday calls are disarming.
You got a good sense of humor.
We should go out, right?
Sometimes I have to remind myself who I'm talking to. I can't forget that. This has been a one-sided conversation for way too long. Thousands of people have received these letters, and they deserve to know.
Matthew?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Matthew, it's Jack. I'd love to meet up with you in person and ask you some questions and see what your life is like.
I wouldn't have a problem with that. Absolutely.
But, of course, whenever I ask for an address, a meeting place, even just a town, he goes silent. I told him I have friends in Northern California, and I asked how far away he was. Still, silence. I'm not even the first person he's done this with. A few years ago, someone tried to find him. Unfortunately for me, his response was, I have left many clues as to where I produce all of this. Maybe you could show up with recorders and a pizza from a local provider. There's only one of me. Bring me your best questions. Bro. I don't know. I mean, I just don't know. I don't know. I guess I should have expected this from a guy that's sending out cryptic letters all around the US. So I did what anyone would do. This is me, holed up in my Holiday Inn Express at this ergonomic desk built for maximum efficiency. I sorted through over 1,000 letters, looking for GPS coordinates, zip codes, landmarks, anything. And then it's been years, and the thousands of people that are looking for him, myself included, can't find him. These towns out here are small, and if there's one thing that I know about small towns, it's that nothing and nobody can slip under the radar. So, I'm out here in California, and all I have is this 12-year-old photo. Day after day, I went to post offices. The guys inside couldn't talk to me for legal reasons, which totally makes sense. Libraries.
Does it sound familiar?
Police stations.
Going in.
Local newspapers.
Thornton, yeah.
And finally, the grocery store.
He was here this morning.
This is it.
Do you want to meet outside the Civic Center in Jackson?
Yeah, that'd be all right. There's an actual, there's a little table out there.
Matthew. So here, clip this one onto your collar. There's the microphone.
All right.
Right, that should be good.
Really, is that good there?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a reason for me to be here.
All right.
Right away, I met both versions of Matthew, the protester and the prophet. The prophet spoke in coordinates and conspiracy theories.
The 120 west, by 39 degree, it's on my letters. The coordinates with the crown of California in it.
But then, without warning, this other voice would emerge. It was grounded, practical, concerned with real-world problems.
There are people that are horribly displaced by fire.
This version of Thornton proudly told me about his family.
Dad was within himself quite a remarkable person.
How did your mom and your dad meet?
On an airbase, yeah, Omaha.
Where did they go from there?
That's the best story ever. There's all these gaps. All of a sudden, Dad's gone to Korea. He was deployed. My brother and sister almost born over in Okinawa.
And he shared the raw pain of a young boy watching his family fracture.
And so where do you go from there? I mean, tell me about your childhood.
No, that's when Mom, again, being the one that was the risk taker, wanted to go. Buckled in, we were heading home, we knew the shortcut home. And that's where she popped it out. She says, what do you think about leaving Dad? And I was like 12, she broke my heart. That was quite the thing. I had to go with her. I couldn't stay at home, and Dad could be in trouble for that. There was no supervision during the day. But I would have made it work if I really thought about it. I mean, part of me kind of wondered if I had.
In my time searching for Matthew, I spent countless hours staring at this image, the Rosetta Stone. Here's a guy that's relentlessly sending letters out, forcing the world into deciphering what they might mean. I kept finding myself reading this one line over and over again. The Rosetta Stone was the key to deciphering the mysterious ancient Egyptian language. For the longest time, it felt like Thornton was taunting me. I was looking for something, anything, that would make it all click, but I never found it. Not until we met up.
I thought I was just going to keep going. But 2008 came along and it all stopped. The whole economy just froze.
What the heck is going on down here? I don't know.
But now it's official, we are in a recession.
The Dow Jones Industrial Average dropped more than 900 points.
I was one of those people. As a business person, I was like in the top 5-10% 10% of the wealth of this country because I was the risk taker. That's why I employed other people, insured them, and then I ran into 2008. It was the damnedest thing.
I packed my truck and drove to Vegas.
What was in Vegas?
My brother. So it was quite the thing. Quite the thing.
Why'd you go to your brother?
I had really no place to stay.
This was a turning point.
Foreclosures have hit a record high.
Yeah, I woke up to being a nomad. It was actually quite an enlightening event for me.
Around 2008 or so, when my material world started failing me, that's when I lost everything. I became a nomad, had no home, so I lived with my brother. That I had a lot of time on my hands. I had a constellation guide, and I got out and studied the night sky. I used to go out 3 in the morning and watch pre-dawn in the high desert.
I discovered things. I saw things in the sky. It was like a pulse, a feeling. And no matter where I was happy with it.
So he started writing about it.
And I wasn't really writing in those first years. I was doing more star charts and then putting words around them. And that's when I discovered I could fuse the two.
Faced with an immense loss and an existential crisis, he found refuge with his family. And his pen name was born, honoring what his dad told him was their generational pride, a signature by a distant relative at the very bottom of the Declaration of Independence. Thornton writes to cities and businesses hit with economic hardship, evangelizing to those who might be where he was. What he's doing, sending these letters out, scaring a bunch of people, it might be wrong, but he's still a human who was dealt a really rough hand. So I'm going to spare the details, but we've been in touch with his family, and we've offered to get him some help if he wants it. Brian Reed, who you may know from the podcast S-Town, helped us a lot on this episode. I want to point you in the direction of his new podcast. It's called Question Everything. Trust in the media is down, and in this show, Brian is critiquing and asking the journalism industry how we got here. In his first episode, which you should definitely listen to, he invited on his biggest critic to absolutely drill into him. It was inspiring, convicting. To us as reporters, we're glad it exists. But anyway, times are weird. This feels really important. The link is down below. Thanks again to Delete Me for sponsoring a portion of this video. And oh my God, thanks to our Patreon supporters. You guys are amazing. You're everything. You are the steam in our engine. Thanks for watching.